Hello and thanks again for joining me this week. During my second inaugural address in December, I specifically highlighted affordable housing and their efforts to combat climate change as two of our key focus areas. This week, we're sharing progress in addressing both of these issues. During this week's media briefing, we talked about a victory for close to 350 of our neighbors who were in danger of being priced out of their homes had not the county stepped in to aggressively preserve these affordable units. I have a pretty straightforward three-pronged approach to addressing affordable housing in this county. That is to preserve, to produce, and something we've talked about extensively this week, protect existing affordable housing. Last December, we were approached by Action in Montgomery with concerns from the tenants of Westchester West Apartments in Aspen Hill that the building was being sold and that the potential buyer was going to be raising their rents above 5.5%. This is a 385-unit complex, mostly consisting of working-class residents. These are folks who simply cannot afford this sort of rent increase. If we didn't do something here, many of them would surely have had to move out and be displaced. It's not like you can easily find other affordable housing in the county. Therefore, I directed DHCA to explore having the county buy this building by exercising the county's first right of refusal to match the sale offer, purchase this building, and then resell it to a partner who is committed to not pricing people out of their apartments. I am very happy and pleased to announce today that we achieved this in just over 6 months. The county purchased this building for $67 million on June 8th. And then we sold it to Enterprise Community Development. Under the terms of this deal, Westchester West will serve 35 households with incomes below 50% of area median income. That's about $50,000. 275 households with incomes between 50 and 60% of area median income. And another 35 units will be unrestricted so as not to displace residents who earn more than 60% during their tenancy. The bottom line is that we have to save the homes of hundreds of families who would have been forced out had we hadn't intervened. I've seen firsthand too many times in this county that when affordable housing apartment buildings are bought, they are rehabbed and the current inhabitants are priced out. The status quo solutions and approaches to affordable housing have not been working in this county for 2 decades at least. We must change our approach because there are about 50,000 households here earning less than $50,000 in Montgomery County, and they are spending 50 to 60% of their incomes on housing. Their incomes do not keep up with increases in rent that are being imposed around the county on communities that simply can't afford them. If we're going to solve our affordable housing problems, we must get serious and use every tool in our toolbox, including our right of first refusal, to intervene in similar transactions that will price out current residents. This opportunity to use the right of first refusal to intervene and help renters lock in affordable rent for years to come was only available because the property was being sold. We don't have the resources to buy every building that will come on the market and whose sale will result in displacement. That's one of the sad things we have to deal with. We have voluntary rent guidelines, but we're seeing far too many rent increases that are seriously in excess of inflation and are disconnected from cost increases that the landlords might be experiencing. Under our current laws, our rent guidelines are voluntary. We suggest rent increases stay within inflation, unless a landlord can demonstrate that their costs exceed inflation, but we can't require that they do this. That's why I'm hopeful that the County Council will pass meaningful rent stabilization measures that limit rent increases to the cost of inflation, with exceptions for landlords whose costs justify greater rent increases. At the moment, the Home Act is the only rent stabilization bill that will do this. The other bill, in its current form, would allow landlords to increase rents by inflation plus 8%. Today, that would mean a 12% increase. Wages of our lower paid workers, let alone pretty much everybody in this county, don't increase by 12% a year. And that bill will only encourage more displacement. The most recent census data tells us that about 35% of Montgomery County residents are renters. It's important that as our county grows, we think about ways to keep our community affordable for everyone. Keeping Montgomery County affordable is an idea that's been around a long time. In fact, I found that in the last 5 county executives spanning close to 40 years have supported measures that tie rent increases to what the rate of inflation was. The actual language in guidelines said the county should do whatever it can to minimize rents. In the past, that has meant calling on landlords to justify steep increases in rent, which we haven't done recently. I want to share this information with you, the public, and the county council members who are convinced allowing rent increases to go up by 12% a year is the right move. It is not. Many previous county executives knew it, and I believe following their precedent is the best way to move forward. This week, the County Council confirmed 2 of my appointments to help lead the county. Many of you who have followed our county closely over the last few years are already familiar with Dr. James Bridgers. He's been an essential member of our COVID-19 response team since the beginning. Dr. Bridgers has more than 25 years of experience in program administration, development, and implementation, ranging from substance abuse and mental health to cancer prevention programs. I look forward to working with Dr. Bridgers in his new role as director as we tackle the physical and mental health challenges and improve the lives of Montgomery County residents. My other appointment is John Monger, who joins the county after serving as the Assistant Deputy Administrator of the United States Environmental Protection Agency. He has an impressive resume that includes serving as counsel to a presidential commission formed to investigate the 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil spill and assignments in the Obama administration focused on transportation and air quality. He's been a policymaker, and now he wants to implement those plans and make sure that they work as intended and do the most amount of good for Montgomery County residents and our environment. Thank you, John and James, for your commitment to Montgomery County. We are achieving great things here, and I'm proud that you want to be part of the effort to make our county safer and better for everyone. Montgomery County is always seeking ways to be innovative and find sustainable practices to reduce carbon emissions. Recently, we were presented a new opportunity that we couldn't let get away. A new agreement with WSSC will allow the water company to use its methane gas by allowing MCDOT to use it to power some of our ride-on buses. Methane gas is captured during the wastewater treatment process. Instead of being a dangerous greenhouse gas, as it has been in the past, methane will be now converted at the Piscataway Bioenergy Facility and become a renewable natural gas powering our buses for the next 5 years. Maryland's largest water utility currently produces 8,000 tons of biosolids monthly. Once construction of the bioenergy facility is complete in the fall of 2024, all biosolids from WSSC's 5 other plants will be delivered to the new facility. Through innovative technology, the amount of biosolids left over from the new treatment process will be significantly reduced, and it will be cleaner. In addition to ride-on buses, some county facilities will also be able to use the converted renewable natural gas to help reduce our carbon footprint. Our climate action goals of reducing emissions by 80% by 2027 and 100% by 2035 can't be done all at once. Adopting sensible and sustainable measures like this will help us reach those goals. On Tuesday, I joined Councilmember Sidney Katz in recognizing the importance of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, June 15th. This is an important event every year because it helps educate seniors and the community on the many ways older residents could be vulnerable to scams, thieves, and targets of abuse that goes unreported. Around 300 people attended our celebration in Holiday Park virtually and in person. They learned about popular scam attempts using cruises, trips, and other supposed prizes to get seniors to give up sensitive personal information or to pay a portion up front to get a great deal, only to learn later that in fact it was too good to be true. Think about that phrase, too good to be true. If you hear friends or family members talking about an offer they've received and describing it in a way that pretty much sounds like it's too good to be true, please ask questions to see if you can identify why these pictures are so concerning. It could help your friends and family save themselves money and embarrassment. Another concern addressed on World Elder Abuse Awareness Day is physical harm and neglect. COVID-19 understandably isolated many people. We know it led to more physical abuse across the spectrum, and that includes the senior population. It's a good idea to regularly check in with neighbors, friends, and family members who may spend a lot of time alone. I want to thank the many community partners that work on senior abuse issues in Montgomery County, like the State's Attorney's Office, Montgomery County's Police, and the Department of Health and Human Services Aging and Disability Services Division, as well as Adult Protective Services. State's Attorney John McCarthy deserves special recognition for his personal involvement in so many senior safety events. COVID-19 remains extremely low in Montgomery County and throughout the state. Hospitalizations are also very low, with just a few hospital beds supporting the people who've tested positive for COVID. I encourage you to continue to take advantage of our free take-home tests and masks that are available at all libraries across the county. DHHS is still making vaccines and bivalent boosters available for anyone who hasn't gotten the bivalent booster since it hit the market last September. Get ready for Pride in the Plaza. This event takes place at Veterans Plaza in Silver Springs starting at noon. There will be live performances, vendors, and information at this gathering in celebration of the county's LGBTQ+ community. This year's program is being put together by the group Live in Your Truth. I'm appreciative of their efforts to create an inclusive event, attract sponsors, and empower our community to create lasting change for LGBTQ+ residents. I hope you support Pride in the Plaza this weekend in Silver Spring. And before I go, I want to send a message to those celebrating Eid Al-Adha next week. We recognize this is one of the most important holidays in the Muslim faith, and I hope that our community celebrations are fulfilling for everybody who observes this holiday. That's a wrap for today, and I hope you all have a good week, and I'll be back again next week.